was in the hospital for 14 days. It was a very scary procedure to go through. I woke up and you're unable to speak. So you have to think of how can I communicate. The only method of communication I had was to write at that time. So I wrote. And I got home and had learned how to use a device to talk. Most new laryngectomies have what they call a true tone to speak with. It's an electronic device. And it's actually like an instrument, but this is how you use it. That's how I communicated for the first 10 months.
So as you see, there's a form of communication.
It worked okay. I was able to talk. And, not being able to communicate at all and having this is a great thing to have. And then 2 months ago I had an esophageal puncture. And they puncture up through and allow air to come through my esophagus, and that's how I'm able to speak now. Which I like a lot better. I have a hands-free device, which most only have, they use their finger to push down on the stoma to talk with. I prefer the hands-free because I can still use my hands and do other things. It's a flap that opens and closes. You need a support group. Either my support group is through church, through the Lord, I'm a Christian, and I go to other people who have laryngectomies. I had to have radiation afterwards, and I got as a side effect lymphedema, where my glands swelled up real bad. Most people who saw me saw that I was very enlarged for a while, so I had to find out. Nobody knew what to do. Eventually I got a mask that I wear at night for that. And mentally it was very hard at first. I was very uncomfortable going anywhere, doing anything with anybody. I'm just now, a year later, beginning to feel more comfortable going out. Because with the forms of communication, one of the things that you will get is a feeding tube. So you have to have that feeding tube for several months. So that's another cumbersome thing to carry around. And you'll feel different. We're not the same anymore. And but you have to realize that you're valuable, your life is worthwhile. And just because I have an infirmity doesn't mean that I can't be something or somebody, that my life isn't over. I'm 53. I hopefully will have several years ahead of me. This is a bump in the road. I won't by any means say that it was easy. It was very difficult. It was painful. I started walking within about, right away after I got surgery, within 4 days. 4 days I was walking around the hospital. And when I came home, I tried to walk around the block, which isn't that far, but it seemed like. I enjoyed athletics for a while, but it was a long ways. Now I'm able to walk for an hour or two. I have a bike I bought. I ride the bike. And that's what you have to, occupationally. You may have been able to do this, but I swam, surfed, water skied, snorkeled in the water. Water was my forte. I love being in the water. As a laryngectomy, water isn't an option anymore. So I have to find other alternative methods of things that I can do. So now I walk and I ride my bike. I work out. I use my computer. And I go to church. I'm trying to lead as much of a social life as I can. What I recommend doing is before you do have your surgery, is being able to save. For me, I went to Hawaii for 2 weeks before because I knew I wasn't going to be able to swim or surf or do those things. Everybody has a fear of death, regardless if you're a believer or not. And, it's, you want to come out to the other side like I am today. And you can. And, when you go in for the surgery, the unknown, we don't know, any of us, if we're going to go in a car and get killed tomorrow. So I feared the surgery. But when I realistically looked at it, I watched several young men die this year in automobile accidents or in stabbings. So my fear was not being accepted by others, being different, not being able to talk, which I couldn't for a while, not being a father or a husband that I was. But I realized that people loved me and accepted me unconditionally. When you have cancer, it's the Bible says this one thing I do is forgetting what is behind me and pressing on towards the high calling of Jesus Christ. In Philippians it says, he who began a good work is faithful to complete it until the day of Jesus Christ. If I forget what's behind me and look on, I'm okay. But if I look behind and say, man, I have this cancer and surgeries, and it's overwhelming. I fear getting it again, of course. But what can I do? I'm living in a state of fear. It's not healthy for anybody. And I've had days where I just want to gash out, just forget it. It's too overwhelming. And then I look and I think, damn, it's a beautiful day today. And I try to find the good things in life. Without hope, we have nothing. And that has been my greatest strength, is knowing the Lord. And if I could give anything to you, that's what I would want to give. To know him and to believe in him. Because it makes it all worthwhile. If there's one soul through my misfortune that becomes a believer through this, it will all have been worth it.